Porkchop's Horror Show is one of my favorite FNAF fan games that will probably never release. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it's really hard for me to be disturbed, but this game might just be one of the most disturbing FNAF fan games I've ever played. So sit down and grab your favorite snacks and see why Porkchop's Horror Show is one of the most disturbing FNAF fan games. Wait. Before I actually start the video, I need to clarify a few things. So I was basically almost done making the video, and then I saw FNAF, the creator of Porkchop's Adventure, streaming on YouTube. So I decided to give a donation message to ask him if he was actually gonna make the game.
Hi Phil, I have a question. Will Porkchop's Horror Show ever release? Yes.
No, wait, don't click off. Do not click off of the video. I still talk about the whole game and behind the scenes of everything that has been released so far. So please, watch the video and enjoy it. Okay? I promise you will. Please. The game was created by FNAF, known for making Shadow over Freddy's at the time, but nowadays, he's famous for developing FNAF Plus and raging at the funny security breach game.
Was it a blast to play through or a slog? An absolute fucking experience that I would never wish upon my greatest enemy.
He was developing the game mostly in secret, showing teasers here and there, and one day, the game was just silently dropped. Porkchop's Adventure. Every FNAF YouTuber known to man rushed over to the Game Job page and started making videos, trying to see who could finish a video on the game first. After tens of episodes, people realized that this was just a demo. FNAF laughed in the face of all the Let's Players. Fools, the full game is going to have 3 chapters the length of this demo. The Let's Players were intrigued. They started making videos on teasers FNAF dropped for the full game. Porkchop's Horror Show, and then it went quiet. The game was eventually cancelled. But then it was uncancelled. Oh, never mind. The project is on hold now. And from the looks of it, the full game might never release. That's basically a summary of this game's development, but what was the actual game like? Was it even good? Or was this just another FNAF trend? The answer may shock you. The game starts with a basic premise. You're stuck inside of a studio because the elevator has broken down. You've got to wait for your coworkers to help you out, and all you're left with is a cartridge for a game called Wonderworld: A New Adventure. But then you barely start playing the game and damn it, the power went out. I can't see anything. It's the 3rd time this month. This is getting ridiculous. You're left in pitch black and you'll have to navigate the dark and find a fuse to replace the one in the breaker room. After replacing the fuse in the breaker room, now the game starts for real. You see that timer on the top right? You have an hour until help arrives, and you're going to have to survive till then. Now, you can do 2 things. 1, sit there like a little bitch and play Porkchop's Adventure, or uncover the secrets of the studio and find out what's going on underneath. You're allowed to freely navigate the building whenever you want. You can check out the rooms that you're able to, and hey, maybe you can solve a puzzle or 2. Intriguing. You can go sit down and you can continue playing your game. You're able to collect coins for upgrades. You also have healing items scattered around the map. You might also hear some faint noises coming from outside your room. What the hell? And you're able to check out the hallway through your little peephole, but you're not alone. It's a horror game, what did you think? That was Porkchop, and he was probably the one messing with the building's power. He looks old and pale. Get it? This is peak humor in my channel, so make sure to subscribe for more of these puns. He also looks oddly similar to Porkchop from the game, and after fixing the power, things start feeling off. From this point on, you'll see Porkchop moving around the building and occasionally taunting you, messing with you with his grim-looking smile. Now, I'm gonna have to spoil something here. Porkchop is completely harmless. He's just there as a random encounter to taunt and scare the Let's Players for funny reactions. Now, you'll be able to solve a few more puzzles and get access to new rooms like this weird room that you'll need to find 4 batteries for. You can find the batteries by finding secrets in the game to get hints. Now, let's talk about the endings. There's 4 main endings in the game. The neglect ending, which you earn by waiting for an hour and being rescued, which is probably the best ending. The second main ending, which is the happy ending, where after going through the game, you'll be invited to do a show at a dining place. Don't you see? They still care about you. Wouldn't you like to go back? Don't cry. Cheer up. Help us. The lights will start flickering and then... In this section, the game will tell you a story about a singing bird on top of a roof, trying to get other birds' attention. The bird believed that if his song could reach the animals on the other side of the field, maybe they could become his friends. But no one ever came to visit. He wondered if he was doing something wrong. Remember this line for later, it's important, I promise. The bird kept singing. As the days dragged on, his plumage turned gray. The efforts paid off. A single animal's footsteps could be heard on the roof, approaching the bird. Though he couldn't see who it was, he happily welcomes the stranger to sit alongside him. But instead, the stranger pounced on top of him and started digging into his neck. It was a cat. The last moments of the little bird's life were filled with silence as his coarse, bleeding throat refused to produce any other sounds. The bird stopped singing and everyone was happy. Yay, what a great and happy ending. This ending is obviously very symbolic, which will come back later. The third ending doesn't really have a name, but on the wiki it's referred to as the missing ending. Oh man, I wonder what's going to happen. For this ending, you have to find all of the batteries scattered around the studio. One is inside a radio that you have to break with a hammer, one inside a safe which you can find the code from the game. For the last one, you'll have to knock on a door with a star shape a specific amount of times in a specific pattern. But wait, did you see that? Computer, brighten the image and enhance. Enhance more? My god, there's 2 of them.
Jesus Christ, that's...
After you insert all the batteries, a cutscene will play out.
Although the fairy could not possibly know what the child was dreaming about, the smile on his face was all she needed to see. Her body was happy, and thus, she was happy. But as time passed, the kid's expression began to turn sour. The fairy that kept watch of him, worried that their dream had taken a turn for the worse. Confused, she whispered more pleasantries to ease his disturbance. But as each word left her mouth, the child grew more and more agitated. As she continued to raise her voice, the words dug into his head, each one turning sharper and cutting deeper than the last. Sweat ran down the child's face, his body trembled, his eyes leaking tears that flowed from his chubby cheeks. She stepped back in horror and watched as her body cried and wailed for reasons she did not understand. Was it a fever? A nightmare? Did she do something wrong? The fairy could not bear to see him in such state, so she rose to the air once more and began to flap her wings rapidly. A gust of wind formed below the fairy, strong enough to collect the magic sparkles that she left behind as she flew. The sparkles piled on top of each other and began to dry up. With a sleight of hand, she cast a spell over them, turning the sparkles into a coat of smooth, silky white powder. With another quick movement of her wings, she let the coat fall over the child's face, drying up his tears and covering his frown. The boy had stopped dreaming.
Porkchop's horror show writer mysteriously disappears from locked-off studio. When arriving at the scene, the employees were confused to find the writer nowhere in sight. Director of Porkchop's horror show has refused to give any comments on the situation. Published November 23rd, 2048. To be continued on. Well, I guess this is the true ending, or canon ending of the game. It looks like they dragged your body into the star-shaped door, since the door is open. And while we're at it, can we talk about Porkchop's design a bit more? The realistic and uncanny pig looks even scarier when animated. God, I just really hope if the full game ever releases, I can expect more of this. The final ending of the game is the Steven ending. Apparently Steven is this jack-in-the-box ARG character that appears often in most of FNAF's games. Now, I'm a bit of a dum-dum, a bit of a stupid guy, you may say. So I couldn't figure out how to get the ending, and I had to resort to cheating by using the wiki. I know, I've done a gaming sin, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. To get this ending, you have to find 3 hidden smiling faces. One you'll get after going down a hole in a minigame you unlock after beating the game, another after going through a second minigame which is completely broken and you'll have to find it by going in a specific spot on the map. Okay. And one for interacting enough with a well inside the game. After getting all 3 smiling faces, you'll have to go to your safe locker and put in 2541. After finding the minigame, you'll unlock a 3rd minigame. Zmimxamav 3. The word is encoded with a Visionaire cipher, and the passphrase is nevermore. In the minigame, you'll be roaming around what looks to be the Porkchop studio and collecting 3 smiling faces to put on 3 doors while you're under a timer. You can collect clocks to increase your time, and can I just mention how good the music is in this section? After putting all the smiling faces, Steven will appear, congratulating you. You'll now have this Wonderland key, and from what I know, there's really nothing you can do with it. I could be wrong, but if not, then maybe the key was going to be used for the full game. So maybe you had to get the secret in the demo to get a secret ending in the full game. Now, surprise! We actually have one more ending. If you go to your game's files and open the game settings in a notepad, one setting will appear. True ending. If you set the number to 1 and open the game, one of the most creepiest and most disturbing endings in my opinion will play out. So a little bit of a warning, just in case. There's what looks to be a box. After opening the box, you'll realize there's a child inside it. You can't really do much other than hold left click, which will cause the child to sleep or pass out. Every time you try to sleep, a hand will appear and it'll wake up the child with different text appearing. This is pretty messed up. Clearly this child is kidnapped of some kind and someone's been abusing the child. The child's name, according to the person, is Dorothy. After going back and forth, eventually he'll start getting angry at the child, and the scene plays out in a way as if the child is fully passing out or dying. It slowly gets darker and darker with messages like, "Don't leave me," or "If you sleep now, you'll disappear." But eventually, Dorothy sleeps and doesn't wake up, and your game crashes. So what we know is that a child was abused and kidnapped named Dorothy. From the happy and missing ending, we know that something went wrong, likely with a child. It could be Dorothy, but it could also be other people or children, since there's more than one pig, which I'm guessing are possessed. Because this is a FNAF fan game after all, you can't not have possessed children. If you're wondering where the star-shaped door that you get taken to in the missing ending is, well, according to the wiki, you're supposed to wake up at that place. Porkchop's Horror Show. Porkchop's Horror Show is sort of like a game show like Hunger Games where people risk their lives for glory. For example, one of the mechanics mentioned in this wiki says, the player must stop Porkchop from killing them. The player must also record Porkchop for as long as they can to boost their view count. So, you could basically say this is Squid Games, but FNAF. Looking at the screenshots, you can see how diverse the gameplay was going to be, with things like a spinning wheel that could determine hazards and perks. I mean, it's no wonder YouTubers were covering the news and teasers for this game. It's truly something that was never thought of before in this size, back then. But as I said, we might never see this game, and the game might just become a myth. It's up to FNAF if he wants to make this game. He's currently working on FNAF Plus, which a lot of people are waiting for, me included. And after what happened with Security Breach,
End me!
yeah, let's keep our expectations low. There are fan-made projects in development, so I hope they can deliver something similar to FNAF's vision. So yeah, we made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. It honestly took me way longer than I expected, but honestly, I had a blast making the video. Since my upload schedule is not that consistent, I made a second channel called Perrigate 2 for now, and I'm gonna try at least uploading weekly there with just general content and gaming videos and like stuff like that. Thanks for watching this video. A like, a comment, subscribing really helps me out a lot, so consider doing that, please. And join the Discord server if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!
Hi Phil, I have a question. Will Porkchop's horror show ever release? Yes, it's one of my favorite FNAF fan games ever. That's great to know, considering that it hasn't released yet.